Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us again on this marvelous Tuesday. I hope you're all doing wonderful. Today we're going to be starting back up with our sessions 6. I swear I can speak. It's something I can do. I promise I can. Zastrava, if you wouldn't mind recapping what's happened over the last couple of sessions, and we'll get started.
Awesome. So our last session, we were reacting after having defeated Lenora and her goons. When we went out of the temple, we unfortunately discovered the body of Enzo and realized that he was in fact gone to us. And we rounded up the 2 remaining goons that Asker had knocked out and proceeded to try to tie them up. While we were doing that, I believe Shirku was going back down into the temple and dragging out Lenora's corpse and then proceeding to chop her up and scatter her to the winds as much as he could, just as a preventative measure. And then we interrogated the first goon to come around, and when Asker wasn't having much success, the Strava stepped in and made it a bit more successful. And after Asker weighed his crimes, decided he was guilty enough to receive capital punishment, and so he did. And then we woke up the other goon and proceeded to talk to her. When I believe we all started to rest, and on each of our shifts, a couple people tried to talk to her, and one wizard, who will remain unnamed, decided to give her a little bit of an internal crisis. And then I believe it was that night or the night that we were.
It was the night after.
Okay, so we started our travel back to the town of somewhere.
Witherthorn.
Witherthorn, perfect. So on our way back to Witherthorn, we had to stop because it was more than a full day of travel. And on that night while we all slept, we each were visited in our dream or had some sort of dream memory going on. Zastrava dreamt of her father and a giant black dragon morphing and coming to visit him. John's character had a very disappointing dream where he thought his master was finally going to give him some information. That did not happen. Shirku had a dream about his childhood, or perhaps an unfortunate memory from his past. I believe Mila dreamed of her homeworld, or homeland perhaps, and then Asker dreamed of what kind of set her down this road as an adventurer.
Yeah. Pretty much. You guys will wake up after some more well rested than others. I believe you guys were almost back to the city. It was around midday. As you guys start to come to the point where you can actually see it, you notice that, well, there is a storm that has rolled in. So visibility is a little bit harder as you're all being drenched from a nice little thunderstorm that's appeared. You guys go through, peek out of the brush, and find yourselves. You see the ramshackle part of the town that's outside of the walls where you guys spent the night before. It's not dark enough, so the gate is still open for you guys to go through. Where are you headed?
Shirku, didn't you mention there was a lady we wanted to see?
I think she's inside the walls. the mirror?
If you're talking about the library lady, yeah, she's out there.
Okay.
Is that where we venture?
So you're heading to see Evelyn in the Black Quill?
Yep. Might as well.
As you guys approach the main gates, they are still open. There are the two guards there, different ones than the ones before. They are just letting people through right now. And they just they watch you over as you enter. No one looks too shady, except for wait a second. Shirku's carrying the dead body?
And a bound up woman.
And a bound up woman, yes.
They're about to let you, and then they like kind of go through the rain and. Well, one moment. Explain. And you hear as he says that the other guard knocks on the wall, and you watch as two parts of the wall open up, and you see crossbows peek out from it.
No. We ran into cultists. Our escort didn't make it, sadly, so we brought him back to burial. And we got us a prisoner for information on whatever was going on.
Who's this escort that you're saying you... I don't recognize. They were never one of our people that we've sent out as guides.
Enzo.
Is that name supposed to mean anything to me?
I have no clue.
Shirku, you may make a history check, Shirku.
Alright.
It's not too high of a DC.
Yeah, because, again, I remember we go fish.
It's been a while. It's been a couple of months. It's only been like 3 days, 3 or 4 days for you, Shirku. Mila, if you want to interject to... Shirku, you seem to remember that Enzo was a home buddy. Didn't really venture out whatsoever. And he was in the outside of the city.
He lived outside of the city and just never really came out, but he used to work as an escort as a job, if I recall.
So he's one of them. Okay. So who are you bringing the lady to speak with?
Evelyn.
The shopkeep? Why would you bring some cultist to a shopkeep?
She has a few questions, probably.
She has books.
I'm gonna need to... If she is as dangerous as you say, and I appreciate you for bringing her in, but she's going to have to come with us.
We'd like to get information out of her first, please, if you don't mind. Then we'll hand her over.
If you need any information, she'll be available in the dungeons where she belongs.
I try to persuade them.
Yeah.
No, I think the dungeon could be good if we can bring Evelyn to her.
Were you going to say something, Sistrava, to persuade?
Maybe? I guess I'll ask first, could we bring Evelyn to see her in the dungeon?
Sure. She's just going to have to be checked in first.
Alright, I'm gonna try to persuade them.
Yeah, Shirku's not very persuasive, he's blunt.
Got it.
After Siegfried has okayed her for visitors, you may then enter and join her. And interrogate her if you wish.
Who is Siegfried?
Siegfried is the captain of the watch.
Ooh.
Process.
Yes, well, you're bringing a dangerous person into our city. I apologize if we're not going to just believe that everything you say and trust you wholeheartedly.
No, that's understandable and fine.
Mhm.
After all, in this continent, you have to be wary.
Exactly. So leave her with us and go about your business.
Alright. And I guess I hand her over.
Yep. The other one takes her, and you watch as the holes get covered back up. And then they let you guys through the door. Or through the gate. Door gate, same thing. Shirku, since Mila's in your pouch thing in your back, you're the one leading the way to the Black Quill?
Mhm.
Should we take the body back to the group at the outside of the town first? Or.
You could do that.
Why? Enzo was living on his own, right?
Yep.
Or is this a different body?
Enzo was living on his own.
Mhm.
There's only a few people that knew him, so that's why I asked.
Oh, we can take it back to his house if you want.
Up to you guys.
You know better than that.
I was like,
I thought we were launching cargo around.
Yeah. Then let's go to his home. Set up something.
Alright. I guess we can bury him at his home.
So you guys head to the far out, leaving the gate that you guys had were just about to
Yeah,
go
I
in.
think he was outside of the gate. Yeah.
Yep, he was as far back as they went to. You head to it. Zastrava and Cypher, this is the first time you're seeing this house. Like all the homes outside of the gate are very ramshackle. Like they were cobbled together, and it was a lot of people cobbled in as close as they could be to the wall. This one's a little bit further removed. It's no other homes are distant or near it. There's some trees that are pretty close to it. There are no windows on this household whatsoever. Like, and bare bones. And as they go, are you guys going into the home?
Nah.
Hmm.
Might as
No,
well.
you
There's-
you bury him outside.
Yeah,
Okay.
bury him outside.
Okay, so
Give him his own little tombstone and yeah.
so as you start digging in, it's ground's a little bit heavier than it might normally be. Normally, I don't think most people decide to bury a body during the middle of the rain. So like it's a little bit more heavy work just because of moisture and stuff like that. It takes you guys. How many people are helping actually dig? I assume Asker would,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Shirku.
could adapt and get some thicker claws.
I'm digging too. Because you're stubborn.
So moral support and Zastrava, what are you doing during this?
I'll help as well,
Okay.
even though I probably suck.
Help is appreciated mostly. Let's see. So it takes you guys about an hour to dig it up, and then like 15 or so minutes as you guys Mila, you like change your hands into like almost like a shield kind of thing and just push it in. It's a little hard with how you're not feeling amazing right now, but it
Yeah, just like for a digging build.
Yeah. Well, I was saying for the putting the stuff back on them. Because covering it.
Yeah.
So it's about 6 o'clock now, 7 o'clock. As you guys head back in, all dirty and muddy now from the digging. Shirku leading the way to the Black Quill.
Yep, the rain's going to clean us out and wash us off, so we're
You,
good there. At least we're not lugging a dead body into the city. That would have been awkward.
very, very true.
Yeah, don't say.
Sorry, 1 second, just looking something up.
And we're not getting crossbows pointed at us.
True, not anymore. The guards do let you through now. The one who had talked with you guys before is still there at the moment. He nods to you guys through. The other one is gone at the moment. Shirku, you remember the Black Quill is kind of in the middle of the town, so it doesn't take you guys too long, probably another 25 or so minutes to get from the outer part to in the center.
Yep.
And there you, for Zastrava and Cypher, since this is your first time seeing it, as you guys are going through, you see a lot of the different houses are marked, some are marked with a yellow ribbon on the door, some are marked with a red or black one. It's very rare you guys see a black one, but there are a couple of red ones throughout the... Actually, wait, I think I got that mixed up. I think it's the other way around. There's more black ones than there are red ones. Yeah, there's several black ribbons marked on it. Not every door has a ribbon, but that's just what you see as you're going through, is just some of them having a black or red or yellow one. More, I'd say about, of the ones that have a ribbon, 50% of them are yellow, 30 or 40% of them are black, and then 10 to 15% are red.
What's with the ribbons in this city? Not something I usually see. Is there a parade?
Anyone want to make a history check?
Maybe on the rest of the squad here.
My history is horrible. And plus, I don't know why Shirku would even know this.
Yeah, being from another continent, unless it's a global thing, I guess I can roll.
You would have a chance to roll, considering you've both actually, Zastrava and Cypher, have done some studies, so
Yeah.
it's plausible.
Well, I
I
tried.
asked the question though. I can't roll.
Yeah, no, none of you guys know. And you notice that most of the people are staying indoors now. Not a lot of them are coming out with the rain and stuff like that. Especially not in this part of the town. As you guys continue walking, you get to the center of town. You see in the center there is the giant tower with the flame on top of it that actually protects the city. Over, if you're looking at the map, might as well do that. And the bigger building over there looks to be both a mixture of half of it. It's split on the right side. You see that it's a giant church, Diplomine. On the left side is the town hall, where the mayor would reside. And then in the north part, right there, you see a shop with a black quill at the top of it, a giant black quill as part of the sign, and it just says the Black Quill in nice script.
Yep. And over to the black building go. I guess I knock on the door before entering because politeness is very rare.
It's a shop, dear. You can come in.
All this, still, you don't get very many people that just walk in the door.
And as you open the door, it's filled with books on both sides of the walls. There's like stacks and stacks of them. And behind the counter is a blonde lady who has her hair over her eyes. She has some glasses. She like looks up and sees that Shirkun is like, "Oh, you've returned."
I have. We have.
She looks over. She sees the
Starts pulling it.
different.
Well,
Yes.
we have news.
Looks like you guys changed some of your composition.
A few had to leave.
Yes,
And we ran into two others.
Cypher Silver, a pleasure.
Good to meet you,
Strava.
Sestrava, Cypher, pleasure. My name is Evelyn Reeve. It's good to meet you. How did you come about these three?
Well, we are on travels, and this one here is on a journey of his own, and sometimes it's better to do that as a party.
True. Very true.
They were being attacked by a few demons, so I thought we'd help them out. About corrupted not demonic creatures, but you get the idea.
Vile beasts.
Interesting.
But we did find the tomb.
Good. Did you take care of the cultists?
And the undead.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised that there were undead there.
Except for 3. Or, sorry, 4. Like, I believe there's 4. 4 of them teleported out. We also got rid of the lady that was performing the ritual to revive them all.
Which 4 teleported out?
They were all the way in the back.
Okay.
They were. John, Cypher, did you write them down?
I did not. I was more looking at
Mila
the shadow
remembers.
to revive them.
I have to.
Kyra, Acker, Marka, Darvin.
Yes, there are 2 Darvids, Ikru and Kara.
They mentioned something of if the lady who performed the ritual survives to meet them at a certain location. And considering I saw necromancy, I decided to make sure that the ritual lady didn't get back up.
You see her look up like she's trying to remember something. Move her hand, and you watch as like an arcane gate appears in front of her, and she pulls out a book. And I believe who all can speak Sylvan or Elven?
Let me look at my languages.
No, but I have spell.
Nope. I cannot.
Mila, can you speak Sylvan?
My god, I can speak Sylvan.
Oh, okay. So anyone who can speak that sees that it's an old tome of a list of Fae. Unseelie Court Fae.
I would be intrigued to study that if you are.
Mila takes the
wrote it out.
deep breath of the book. Just
1 second. And she does that, and you watch as the book just opens and flips to a page. Huh. You said Davad?
Yeah, Darvad, Zaybush, and Elastri.
They were some of the Mir's most fervent supporters back when, well, the collapse, as most of the Fae refer to it as.
Collapse?
The event that kicked the Fae from their home island. When the battle with the Mir was over, Anastriana chose to take the island as her own home.
Mila does like a happy wiggle.
The Fae didn't appreciate that, so she exiled them to go and interact with the humans. To learn, to better themselves.
Speaking of cultists, we thought we brought one over and was for interrogation. Thought you might be interested in asking questions. Currently, she's in the dungeon because of the local guard.
Who did the god say that she wanted? Was the god looking for delivering them to Siegfried, or was it to what's his name? What's the young whippersnappers? Arcane.
Siegfried.
Well, we'll see then if the cultist even made it there. Okay.
Is Siegfried notoriously heavy-handed?
Siegfried is in the pocketbooks of a local family that may actually run this city.
That's unfortunate.
Is
So,
that a problem?
maybe. It depends on what they learn about. They're not really a part of the Man of Mir's force. They don't like prescribe to it. They just prescribe to coin and whatever gets them the most.
Man of Mirrors has a force?
This cultist band was a force that was working for, or at least what they believe was his desires.
Oh, okay.
That's what I've learned a little bit from the mirror that you all retrieved.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And yeah, and we went there and fought stuff.
It's true.
And now we're back. Oh,
So
That-
you were the one that Enzo gave the mirror to? What have you been, how has the investigation gone since my fellow adventurers left your wonderful library?
The mirror was supposed to be used that a part of a ritual as some of his more fervent supporters were revived. He was going to have a way to communicate with them.
Oh, speaking of, one of them was looking for that when they got revived.
Makes sense. There are those.
I guess someone should break it to you. If you like that Enzo kid, by the way, he met a brave death. Foolish, but brave.
I mean, all humans eventually do.
At least not gonna be chased around by that wraith anymore.
True. Hopefully. If anything comes for the mirror now, it'll have to deal with me.
Well, I did pick up one little interesting thing. I guess now is the time to share.
And what would that be?
Yeah? What cipher?
Is there a table that's empty anywhere nearby?
Her counter, and there might be, yeah, there's one over on the side, like, it looks like it'd be a spot for someone to read if they wanted to. There's, like, a couple of books on it right now, but that's, like, only 3 or 4.
He takes the bag of holding and dumps it out on the table.
As you dump it out, you do see all of the gold that I went through and described the last time. I'm trying to pull it up.
250 gold, 600 silver, 900 copper, cult leader armor, cult leader sword, mirror shield, and various Avengers kits.
Yep. So that all spills upon. She sees everything and is like, oh.
Now, key thing is, I put the bag of holding back on my belt.
Nice.
That might be enough gold and resources to bribe said backwards guard. Should we need to.
How long ago did you give the guard? Well, are you talking about the guard that you handed the cultist over to, or are you talking about Siegfried?
Siegfried.
She looks it over, does a mental calculation, and is like, no. If the Gravenhold's family are actually interested in it, then it will not be enough.
Let's see.
Sadly. They are the night docks are referred to as the night docks because of the hold that they have on them.
Wow.
I mean, it sounds like there's complicated things here. But I think I need to head home, and Shirku, you're always welcome. And yeah, I don't know if Sestrava or you, Cypher, have other things to do. You were working on book things.
Asker's like, we're going on an
Like clean up
adventure?
the bookcases.
Yeah, I don't mind coming along. Oh, before we do though, I turn over to the book lady and come closer because if I remember right, he still noticed Mila seeming a bit strange from last session.
A little bit.
Asks Evelyn, was it?
Yep.
Evelyn quietly. By the way, do you know anything about medicine?
She looks at you like, kind of like you just asked an expert about just about everything arcane.
Right.
And slightly on divine.
About the divine.
Okay.
Yeah, she also knows a decent amount about that. She's just like, yes,
Yeah.
my sweet child, what can I help you with? And I should, the Strava and Cypher, she looks 30 at most, 25 to 30.
Alright. Sorry for the rude question. Do you think you could take a look at Mila? She's been acting off for this past trip, and I'm getting worried.
My dear changeling, would you mind coming here for me?
Who did she call for?
My dear changeling.
Oh. Mila's slightly suspicious now, like slithers a little bit closer.
She looks you over.
You don't see one of those every day. This party just keeps getting more and more interesting.
Mila gets like a slightly irritated, like
Plus.
not quite pleased with the poking and prodding.
Yeah,
Have you
she's.
ever seen an angry little lizard? That's what I'm imagining right now.
Yes.
How long have you been infected?
I've been feeling sick for a couple of days. And she like holds like an arm close to her chest.
I've only noticed it yesterday, so.
I didn't happen to prepare anything that would help in this case. And Asker's gonna speak up. Oh, here. And she comes up and lays her hands on you, and your HP is back to your maximum HP is back to normal.
Asker. And Mila doesn't run away from it, but she does like give a very much a protesting scream.
And you watch as, because you weren't necessarily expecting it, you've actually been naturally changing part of your body color to like more of a natural tone.
Yes.
So now it's like
Yep.
there are parts of it that are just oversaturated with color on her. Just because.
You get that weird pulsing effect and like with the
Oh.
startling and the magic, like
Hey, you're back to normal. You're back to being shiny again. Thank you, Strava.
no,
Don't
it's
say
That
me,
was-
it was all Asker.
Asker.
Sorry, I got names mixed up. Thank you, Asgard.
It's alright.
And yeah, so Mila goes through some neon hues before settling it back down.
So you're heading back to the island,
Mm-hmm.
and you're all going with.
I have nowhere else to go, so I don't see why not.
Perhaps we should re-provision for a night or so. I wonder if Cypher might not want to review some of these texts, if that would be okay with Evelyn.
I just have to keep my book away from them, sadly.
What type of texts are you looking for?
Oh, arcane knowledge, necromancy, communing with the dead, the basic stuff.
At necromancy, you see her look at you like,
Look, it's usually evil, not gonna lie. But my master passed away and I miss him dearly, and I really need to talk to him. And I figured this is the best route.
make a persuasion check. And since the Strava's been helping you, you get no disadvantage. What is your... How potent of spells are you able to cast?
Oh, some decent stuff. I've got some undead minions under my command. Don't worry, they're willing spirits. I never force anyone to work for me. These guys owed me favors, and They're going to carry through with them even in death.
Sure you don't have disadvantage?
Sherko just looked at him this time. I was just starting to go, what?
Hey, they make great accompaniers sometimes when, you know, we need a little extra pick-me-up for the crowd at the bar.
Look, some people don't get to fulfill their wishes in life. If they help me, I help them, and they can fulfill them in death.
For all of your help, for helping the others and keeping Asker alive, she pulls out, she puts away the book of the Fey genealogy, and she pulls out 3 scrolls. I don't have any spells of the necromantic sort. Not scrolls of them, at least. But here, and she hands you 3 scrolls, 1 of 2nd level, 2 of 1st level, and of the divination school.
Okay.
Thank you for your assistance.
Anytime. It's good to get after the bastards that worship those. I guess that demon cult.
And so you guys, where will you be returning
Oh,
once?
do you have a boat spell?
Sherko raises an eye. There's a boat spell.
Why would I need a spell for a boat?
Well, you can do anything with magic.
I can. Why would I need a boat?
So that I can get home with Shirku.
When I can just
He can't fly.
when I can just appear wherever I want to in the world. Well, why would I need a boat?
Ooh. And you
That
take
is
others with you on your travels?
I can, if I've prepared the spells,
Mm-hmm.
and if I have proper compensation for using the spells.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Evelyn's
What?
human, right?
No.
No.
Evelyn was the Asmar you guys ran into. Shirku and Mila would remember
Okay.
that. You remember her wings popping out and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
well, if we're heading...
Can you get to the
from-
island?
Yeah?
I could. That would require 50,000 gold for their trip, not a back trip.
Mm-hmm. Do you have that money? Do you have the money, Shirku?
How much again?
Mila, I don't think you realize just how much 50,000 gold is. Perhaps if we borrowed from, who was that family again? Then perhaps.
The
I don't-
Gravenholds.
I don't think that'll happen. So we don't have any other questions to ask before we go, or I look at the group,
Mila's
remembering
looking at the book a bit more.
the dreams we all had, and wondering the meanings,
Mm-hmm.
or at least some of us, from what he can recall. Considering some people actually said stuff about their dreams,
True.
and others kept it to themselves.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything in the book other than this slanderous, whatever, defending the Seelie and Unseelie being kicked out?
Oh, the book was. She already put away the book.
Oh, sad. Tragic.
As soon as she was grabbing out the spell scroll, she put that away. Her private books are her private books.
No, nothing. All right.
Will you all be returning once you've made it to the island, or what are your plans afterwards?
I don't know.
We might come back.
I just wander.
I mean, I'm going home. I think Shirka will have a better time there than here.
Asker also says that she will be joining you as well, because she loves adventure.
I look at Asker and just say, well, considering home is often far away, not for some of us glancing at Mila, but who knows where the tides might take us after this.
Okay.
I usually wander, but I don't know how long I'll be sticking around.
Alright.
Usually things happen.
Well, if you end up coming back, I would love to have you guys look into the Unseelie Fae that have been revived a little bit more. But if you don't, I understand.
Oh, yeah. Who were they?
They were some of the most
You read
fervent.
in the book.
Oh, yeah, the book. You mean the ones that you also went through and said? Some of the most fervent supporters of the Man of Mirrors? Ikaru Darvad, Karo Darvad, Ikaru Zabrush, and Markov Ilastri.
Yeah.
Ikaru was a warlock whose patron was the Man of Mirrors. He took the Man of Mirrors' gift and turned himself into an undead through his passion to supporting his master. Karo was his wife, who became a Bodak in service of him. Zabrush and Elastri were two of their guards, the captains of the guards.
Well, she said she forgave the Iron Guard. And, like, maybe I can ask, because I think that you're... like, that you would really fit in on the island.
I don't know. I'm used to running into a lot of nasty things fighting for my life repeatedly.
Yeah.
There are
The island,
specifically
the strong will rise.
demons and demonic.
Island slightly concerns me.
And
What was that?
Your island slightly concerns me.
and
Biggest and strongest are most glorious.
so you're sure I'm gonna have a better life there, because everywhere I go I
Yes.
end up running into something demonic.
Yeah, but on the island, like, if you learn the rules, and if you have someone to watch your back like me, then we'll have a good time.
And that's where I'm gonna probably fall, because I usually don't wander with rules. That's gonna be hard to get used to.
No, I mean, like, rules like knowing how to deal with creatures.
Oh, that. Avoid anything that might kill you.
Well, yeah, and just like knowing which ones are nice, which ones you distract, which ones you scare, and all of that.
And wants to just
But yeah,
go
let's go. Oh,
and wants to just go into underground passageways that as they burn down entire cities. Yes, got it.
no.
That one was oddly specific, wasn't it? Sorry.
But yeah. Oh, sorry we're taking up space here. I think we need to rest and secure a journey.
Yeah. There were, as far as I recall, there are 3 ships out there right now that you may be able to procure passage. But you all know where to find me.
Oh, and seeing as you seem to have so much influence, there's one last question I'd like to ask. If you ever run into a certain demon that seems to be very fiery.
Okay.
Not bad.
The gnat.
Roll the nat 20. That's not bad. Alright, Rin.
I mean, you're asking epic level things.
Please, this is my father. He's the head of our family. You sent me on my
That's a
schooling.
dragon, and Mila just like has these big ol' eyes, like softs her eyes on you.
No. The dragon wasn't my dad. The dragon was working with my dad.
Oh, I see.
The last time that Kevin Longrake was found or seen was by the party that banded together to save the world, basically. He was in one of the temples that was holding one of the keys to either freeing or raising Plomine. He betrayed the Man of Mirrors and sided with his former travel companions. His deal was that he would betray them on the condition that he was left alone to his own devices, meaning that none of the old party should interfere with him unless he did something to cause them to. With most of the old party now dead, Gaelic can't be too far for this world. And you two would recognize Gaelic as Gaelic Ironguard, the king of Rolla.
So Gaelic adventured with Kevin Longrake.
Many years ago. There's some sayings around that Longrake was responsible for Gaelic's death. There was a lot of trouble in their party at some points. But Anna would be the only one. I feel like there's only about 2 or so beings on this planet who... Just telling you as far as I know.
But I was born in Firehelm. And it was raised.
As of last week was the last time I checked in that area. It was still there.
It was completely destroyed by that fire.
I don't know.
Being masked somehow?
Potentially. There are some things that would be beyond my power, but it's possible.
Perhaps venturing to this suburb. Somehow, I think if we stay, Cypher will get less sleep than normal. Glancing at all the books.
There, none of these books will be available for us this evening.
Ah.
Yeah, spending the night would definitely be the best option
You watch as
before heading out.
she just does that, and you hear the door go click, instantly locking. She pulls out a little rod, turns behind her, or comes out in front of the counter, places it in the ground, and you watch as a doorway opens up in front of you all. Well,
Thank you.
after you all. As she opens the door, and you see a marvelous mansion in front of you.
Wow.
The nifty one.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of spells
And
that you'll
Mila's
be able to learn.
impressed and looking up.
As you look up, enter again. The building is of like all of the stone, if you could call a magic area, that is of a white marble. There's an elegant. You actually see an elegant piano over in the left side by a fireplace. A long couch, lounge couch area. Entering, she's like, there are rooms above. You can take the staircase. Each of you can pick a room. Don't go to the 5th floor. You won't be able to get through anyway, but it is my own chambers.
You don't have to worry about that.
If you're planning on getting any sleep, young Cypher, avoid the 4th floor.
Oh, intriguing.
I think as you say avoid it, he's gonna
Seduced
head
by
there.
the words. Instantly.
Just a little bit.
If you need anything, just ask for it. Food or anything will be delivered, and you watch as these translucent like people are just walking through. Similar in a way to ghosts, but less creepy.
Sendings.
Yeah. Mila's enjoying the weird, like, clicking, like, claws on the floor from her hands, and she sort of stalks one of the invisible servants for a while. Just low to the ground,
It just,
following after it.
after about like 5 minutes of you stalking, it notices completely what you're doing, and it leads you on like an adventure course, kind of like if you had a cat like with a red.
Excellent.
There's one thing, mainly something I'm curious on. Can you show me that scry of Higher Helm? I need to see this.
I currently do not have the spell prepared, and only I can see what I see.
I see, so can't use, I don't know, water reflection or something?
Nope.
Alright.
I apologize for any stress that may cause you, but
No, it's alright. It's just... I remember that's the fire they're failing and the city falling.
I can only tell you what I have seen. And that is that Pyrohelm is perfectly fine as far as I am aware.
If that's the case, and memory and magic are clashing, then either something's off with my memory, or that place should be avoided for a good long time.
Has
Because-
Cyprus Estrada been there?
Is Cypher what?
Has Cypher is Strava been to that city?
Be farther
Nope.
north on the continent.
It is way farther north than you guys would have
Oh,
went.
okay.
But yeah, if either my memory is lying to me and something's wrong, or someone's hiding something, and that place should be avoided.
It's possible either or. I don't know which way to tell you.
Thank you, Alice.
I also can't. You will choose your own paths. I have no say in which way you go. I have things that I would appreciate if you were all able to accomplish, but I understand that your path is your own.
From our dreams, it would seem that is decidedly not the case.
Any dreams, be they magical or not, is something to take for caution. Yes, it's possible that Longrake did in fact meet up with your father. It's also possible that someone wants you to believe that Longrake met up with your father. The truth and veracity of all of your dreams, well, they're dreams. Easily manipulated.
Sure, but I feel like it feels familiar. Like I knew who that baby was.
It's possible you maybe saw your birth. It's also possible that you saw a birth of a child that was just born 2 days ago.
It might be the first option. Make more sense. I hear kid.
Yeah, there's a kitty.
It was good timing. It also kind of sounded like a baby.
Either way, I look over to Mila. After we go over to your homelands and finish reporting in or doing whatever, I think I'm gonna need to head back and check in on. I need to see this for myself.
Mila nods, but seems kind of sad to hear it. We'll,
And
yeah, feel off from her pursuit of miscellaneous invisible servants and probably head towards the room.
Mila, would you be interested in joining me as well? Once I head there?
I mean, I want to go home.
We're gonna head to your home first.
I just don't know if I'd want to leave again.
That's entirely your choice.
Asker's like, adventure? More adventure.
There's adventure on both paths, I can assume.
I just want to see more places.
All I want to do is check in on my home city, and then if everything's fine, like your scrying says it is, then I'll just head back. Well, we can just head back to the island.
Do you want to head there first?
If it makes things easier for you, then sure.
You should
Yeah,
talk with
just because home's a better place than here.
Something.
She's been playing for years.
Exact. It's one of those like you have the hints of like I could do better things, but you're just keeping up with her as she's just going and She's not even looking at where her fingers are landing and perfectly on note every single time. Like,
Probably more educational for me.
that was about it for that. Like,
Understandable.
you didn't gain a full understanding of how of like her decision on when to go into a different key or a different tempo and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You all have a very restful sleep. Everyone is back to full HP for the first time in a couple of days. Oh,
Well, I probably went to the 4th floor. I mean, you can't tell me not to go to the 4th floor and expect me not to.
all right. So, as you get to the 4th floor, second and third floor are both rows of rooms. Like, you might have thought like there'd only be, it's an endless hallway of doorways. Which, after like 2 or 3 tries, you see they're all beds, all different rooms, and each one you enter, like after the first one, is slightly different. Enough that, and then if you make a Arcana check. After the first 2, you start thinking of like your home and like all of the different towers that you've been into. And as you're thinking about one of the bedrooms like that you've been in before, as you open the door, you notice that it's that bedroom. And then just playing with that a little bit more, you think about a different one, and you notice that each bedroom, as you open it, is kind of created as you open it and what you're thinking about as a room.
Clever trick.
After spending a little bit of time on that, because I feel like that would be something that would intrigue Cypher, you head up to the 4th floor. And as it was an endless hallway of doors, you find an endless library of books.
I'm sure she won't mind if I. He's gonna be angry if I don't feed him some of these.
Mila's not here, obviously, but I'm.
How Cypher gains spells is quite interesting.
Very good.
You notice that none of these
Yeah,
books are spell
Mila's
books,
just
by the
curled
way.
up with the plant. Tragic.
Well, I can at least feed the scrolls to my book.
It's as you're looking. Make an Arcana check, another one, as you're looking at all of these. Nice. Like looking at the titles, you recognize some as different. Like on one side, they're books that you've read. On the other side, it's all like handwritten books. And when I say handwritten, like almost like a journal or diary. And as you open it, what languages do you read?
Infernal and Sylvan.
Infernal and Sylvan? You do not recognize the language or the glyphs.
Oh wait, I also got Draconics in there.
Do not recognize the language or the glyphs.
Dang.
Tragic.
He's more intrigued though.
And when I say books that you've read, like, it seems like on the other side, every single book that has ever been written is on that side. Like, you see plenty in the languages you don't understand, but you also see plenty that were some basics of Arcane, some different stories of history and stuff like that. Just about everything. How long does Cypher spend?
Sleep is for the weak.
Please take one
Character,
level
I
of. I completely approve, but also please take one level of exhaustion.
I can carry him.
It's only one level of exhaustion. It's fine. It's only skill checks.
Where do you mark that on a character in roll 20?
I do not know.
Or exhaustion. I
Yeah.
think you'd probably just rate it in where you have your proficiencies and stuff on the bottom right. I don't think there's a. clip
All
for
right.
it.
Since we're doing all this roleplay aspect for the characterization fun of it, when we wake up, Shirko is going to actually play on the lute in his room because of something he remembers in his childhood that his mother used to play.
Very nice.
He's not going to be very good by no means, but
But you're still playing. Playing is the important part.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's slow, sad melody that is kind of like going through memory lane.
Mila, you get 3 fate points.
Yay! Do.
You go through, play the song, and as you're playing, you hear a change, and throughout the entire night, you haven't felt a change. Like, there hasn't been a stop of the vibrations, as in someone's been playing the piano the entire time. And like almost half a second after you start playing the song, like in the melody a little bit, you feel the vibrations change to the song from your childhood.
Huh. Except probably better.
Yeah.
Because I have a -1 in performance.
I feel like, I don't know, like the way you described it, the way you described your character, I feel like the song would sound like Grandmother Willow's song from like Pocahontas or something.
Personally,
Yeah.
I don't know what song it is. I'm just doing something of old that he remembers. What his mother used to play. He doesn't even know what it is. He just plays it.
It's there's a hint of like the somber to it. Like it's sad a little bit, but it also has that uplifting notes that it leads to. Like it's rising from the challenges that you've done and going up.
Nah. Alright. Sounds quite nice.
And as you all come on down, before you guys can leave your room, besides the one who's not in his room, at your desk for where you're at, you watch as a servant brings up and lays down a plate of food. Pancakes and waffles, all covered with syrup already, like delicious breakfast. You have some fruits and veggies over on the side, some perfectly cooked bacon. So not too crispy, not too non-done.
I'm nice and curious now. Like, hey, average.
She
Nice.
munches up the meat and the fruit, and then probably by the time the rest of the group's coming down, she's like awkwardly nomming on the waffles and stuff, investigating this texture.
Gustavo will offer a piece of bacon to the sending that brought hers.
Yep, then Shirku arrives and meets.
He's just like, for you.
Thank you. Eats.
And you see that Evelyn is still over there just playing the piano still. She hasn't stopped all night.
Oh gosh. That's just such a Faye thing to do.
Oh yeah.
When you
And carrying the plant in her tail, Mila will hunt down an invisible servant to give a water skin
He hands one to you. Like when you hunt, you didn't take long to find one. There seems to be hundreds of them. Seems to be.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she'll go up to one, hand over the water skin, and wait for it.
Yeah, hands it to you and takes it. Evelyn, seeing that you're all back down, are you ready to begin your adventure again?
Yes. I feel much better.
Mm.
And I have a present. And I'm going home, maybe.
Good luck on your trip. And you watch as the doorway, you all get like ejected out of the doorway as the doorway just vanishes and the whole entire mansion disappears. And she's just behind the counter. Everyone else is having to like recover from like falling over because not very graceful exit. And she's just on the counter like, I have work to do. I appreciate everything that you've told me. May you have safe travels.
And good luck with the mirror.
Yes, the mirror. Good luck.
So we have our destination then.
Oh, did you decide where to go?
Are we going to go to Firehelm?
Yeah. That would be
Yeah.
fine.
Or did everyone else have a place they wanted to go first?
We are on a traveling journey.
I personally only wanted to go there out of curiosity, so...
Well, I guess we should probably go
I
to
think
the
they're with
dockyard.
Oscar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if needed be, we can try to interrogate that cultist before we go.
Asker kind of looks over to Mila and is like, do you want to go to your island first?
I mean, but I also want Shirku to come, and Shirku's nervous about his home. Mila will fiddle with her hands.
I mean, all we're doing is going to take a look and leave right after.
If I recall.
If it still stands, something's really off. And they'll
Maybe.
Perhaps by the time we get to Pyrehelm, we could find a faster way to the island. Somehow.
maybe. But either way,
Think
If
so?
it-
It's pretty much just the ocean unless you have Argentavis.
everything is correct, then I don't know. But things feel off.
I mean, I think that you should trust your memory more,
Right.
because it matters to you more than it would to her, right?
Alright,
And you remember it was destroyed.
but if it's what she's saying is true on the scry,
Then what would that mean?
we need to avoid Firehelm at all costs.
Then we shouldn't go to Pyrehelm. Mela, like, is puzzling through this.
Then do we go to the island first and perhaps rabble rouse or whatever we must do to find further answers and go on to Pyrehelm stronger?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we should.
It'll be a good opportunity for you to grow even stronger, Shirku.
Yes, and yeah, and I'll be able to face my past more easily.
Yes.
Hopefully.
And I need to take care of this flower. for a while. And it's in such a small bit of earth. So
Fun.
let's go to the docks. And if we obtain a boat, then we can make our way back home.
And it's settled then. Off to the land before time.
Yeah, I love it. So as you head out to the docks, you guys actually, for one, notice that the weather's gotten even worse than yesterday. It's almost like there's this really bad tropical storm here. The rain's coming pounding down. Most people are like, they weren't out in a, like, you'd see one or two head out. Most people are shut in today.
It's raining down hard. Wouldn't it be bad for ships to be going out in this weather?
Either that or they'll be
Mila's
desperate for crew.
extending some like fans to cover.
As you head around, you actually see that there's currently 3 ships in the docks. The smallest of them has on the bow of the ship, it's all gold. It's a golden bow. Looks like it's a small mercantile ship. You see about 4 cannons on each side. On the top, or no, it's 4 cannons total on the top of the deck. It's being loaded, like there are a couple of people with like stuff being loaded onto it. Some and you watch as something gets spilled over and it's just different jewels and stuff, and they're like picking it back up and moving it in, and looks like they're getting ready to disembark not too long. The medium-sized ship looks a little bit more beat up. It has a couple of, like, the architecture of it is almost like the top of it's like scraped into almost look like bones. Looks like they're trying to intimidate others so that way no one would go near them. On each side, this one has cannons that are lining like inside the ship as well. There's about, through a quick guess, you can see about 15 cannons on one side. Looks a little bit more well able to defend itself, and it's like it's a bigger ship, but it's not as big as the other ship that you see. How much did Zistrava or Cypher know about the military of Rolla? Either of you very studied about that?
I would have had like siblings that studied military training, but I would know more about like the shipping business side of things, like cargo.
I thought I saw one thing in Zistrava's backstory of like being a drummer for the military, but that might be something else I read.
I didn't really have a lot of interactions with the military for my character.
So Zistrava, can you please make me a history check?
Yeah.
Nice. And make me an Arcana check, Cypher.
I just realized I'm probably not the best guy to ask for
Okay.
directions where to go.
So, Zistrava, you instantly recognize this ship as the Nefarian. It is the warship of Rolla. And when I say the, I mean this is the pinnacle of this is their fleet. Like, this is what would be in the lead and into the charge. You know that this is Admiral Gojira's ship. As you're looking at the side, you see that it has all 50 cannons on each side, basically ready to go at a moment's notice.
Yeah, that's a man of war.
And anyone with a passive perception above a 13 is able to pick out at the top, like by the I can't remember the name, by the wheel, standing straight and just watching his crew work, is a 7-foot tall, winged red dragonborn with two great swords on each side of, like, crisscrossed on his back, almost as tall as him.
Is that a red dragonborn with great swords on his back?
Just watching his ship.
I do believe that is the case.
And Zestrava, you would. I was gonna say, Zestrava, you would know that is Admiral Gojiro.
The name is just like perfect. That would be Admiral Gojira.
Admiral who? And what's in that?
Yeah.
He is the tippy top of someone's army. I glance at Esker.
Just like, yeah, that would be him.
Man, really need Asker here for next time, but Mila's basically going to,
And
like,
remind me.
Zestrava, Asker, Shirku, can you obtain one of these boats? They're all rather human, so I'm going to have to think about how I'm going to explain it to a customaries. But yeah, whichever one will work.
Better question. Astrava, did you run away from home?
Did I run away from home?
Asker, kinda.
Asker, sorry. Asker.
No, I was. They let me go. It's fine.
Did they...
It may have been in the middle of the night, but I was let go. They can't. They wanted to make sure I could go out and venture.
I think they're here to pick you up. We'll look for you.
Well, I
And as you say that, you do actually watch as there are rows of men coming with and bringing wood from a nearby store out and carrying it up onto the Nefarian.
Oh, they could be here for something else. I don't know anything about ships and military. Don't mind me.
well with how the storms have been, and if they're just hitting here and now, does the ship look battered at all? Was it perhaps, in need of a port for repairs?
Not this one. This one, it looks fine. Like, maybe there was, like, you see, like, one or two. No, there wouldn't even be those. It's fine. It's like, no one's crazy enough.
Well, to look at Asker, I mean, this would be an easy way to get to wherever we need to go. Perhaps.
And
Perhaps.
are you sure we'd be able to leave anywhere in this storm on boat?
Well,
In
we can
that boat,
we can-
will be.
we can ask and wait.
And how long would this storm be going for? I take a
On
look
that boat,
around.
it wouldn't matter.
I take a look at the sky and kind of try to see how far the clouds go.
Look.
I mean, the storm will ease up as soon as the goddess is pleased.
Wait, there's a goddess of storms?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of just. She's
Yeah,
kind of just the
storms and
goddess of
tempests.
everything. Well, depending on
I
which
don't know
one
if
you're.
she's talking about.
Anna.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Where it's on the island if Anna's not happy, it's stormy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't that technically mean that Wait, is it exactly like this when she's not happy? This same exact level of raininess?
Yeah, you have to stay home and get shelter and just wait until it passes. Or give gifts.
I have an even bigger bad feeling. I know I'm not religious, but
Hmm?
he just face palms. Oh, great.
No. Yeah.
So,
And I mean, in the meantime, if the storm lasts a long time, I can start teaching some guys or you guys about some of the rules of like survival for small people on the island.
so are we going to go on the big ship, the little ship, or the middle ship?
That I think depends on Asker's diplomacy and will.
I
I think she's the face of the party here.
don't. No matter which one they pick, I don't think they're gonna leave in this storm. He says as he runs his hand across his hair and onto his neck.
Shirku, is there something you're actually afraid of?
There's a lot of things out here in the demon lands, but
In the rain?
See, it's all fun and games until the 3 Kraken show up looking for their 3 ships.
I can explain it to the Krakens. We'll be okay. That's what I said about talking to a customaries. Cypher does not seem pleased at this information.
What? Sir, you know Krakens.
Yeah, that's the deep ones.
No, I'm not afraid of anything.
I feel like that's a pretty easy deception check for anyone who has a decent insight.
Yeah, there's no need to be afraid.
Besides, it's not like a demon's thing gonna show up during the storm.
Aren't you the Demon Slayer?
Not when the demon's big enough.
Ah. Oh, if you're dealing with a large foe, then you work together in teams.
I mean, if we take the big one, we'll have people that can help us. Let's put it that way. If demon comes in the middle of the sea, we literally have some of Rolla's finest on board.
That's not the one I'm worried about.
You would know that on that ship they would also have at least a decent amount of mages on there as well, normally.
But yeah, coming from the sea, that I'm not worried about.
Let's see. Well, do we...
And I'll be honest, I've never actually been on the water, on a boat before. So.
I can show you some tricks from Diet and like how to pass the time. And there are lots of games that you can play.
No, games like Skin the Demon. I like that game.
I don't think you explained that one to me.
I'll have to teach it to you sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, depending on the demon, anyways.
But yeah. And I guess, like, unless we had more that we wanted to do in town, I think we're kind of stuck here until Asker determines this with her roles and roleplay.
I agree.
Okay.
Alright, you guys figure out what to do. I need to check on something.
Understand.
He seems nervous and starts heading towards the direction of where the pyre might be, because he wants to check on something.
the flame.
Yes.
You're okay. So you head towards the tower. It's right in the middle of town. Flame's fine. Doesn't care about the water. And it doesn't really have something protecting it from the top. Like the flame